And welcome to MaxBlack. Today I have an exciting guest for you who is all about family legacy. Join me in welcoming Marcella Mollon-Williams. Welcome to the show, Marcella.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Avis.
Absolutely. So you have an organization called the Family Legacy Experience. So can you first of all just tell us a little bit about that and what does it mean to you to build family legacy?
Well, it means everything, but a little bit about the Family Legacy Experience. Really, it is a program that helps bring financial coaching, financial planning, and life coaching all together to elevate a family's legacy. Like I always say, an inheritance can't possibly hurt a person, but a legacy elevates a family. And that is what we want to really understand the concept of what is a legacy. I think first of all, we hear that word and we're so confused because it's really just, you hear it's thrown out, regularly. And I like to define legacy as how other people will experience your existence. So when we understand that it is about living intentionally so that we create an impact, and we create an impact whether we're living, and especially when we're living, but also after we're gone. Then we can move in a way that is purposeful, powerful, and in using the wealth building process of the Family Legacy Experience to leave and access resources for multiple generations, not just in financial assets, but in intellectual assets. And that's the power of the Family Legacy Experience. It's going from being disempowered to empowered.
Oh my God, that is so powerful, okay? And then you just said so much there. Let me just unpack a little bit of it. So we're talking about financial understanding in terms of how to leave a legacy, how to grow wealth in the right way so that it sustains over multiple generations. But it's also about protecting your intellectual legacy, a whole lot. So let's start with the finances part of it. I think there are a lot of myths that people have around money. And they say that they want to create multi-generational wealth or intergenerational wealth. But in terms of how they manage their money, they keep making the same mistakes because we keep sort of, I guess, kind of drinking the same old Kool-Aid and following the wrong instructions. What would you say are the biggest pieces of advice that you could share with people that would allow them to create that multi-generational legacy with regards to building wealth?
Really, when it comes to shifting, it's about shifting our mindset. So I think a biggest part of what we do, and it is a family business, and so that is a part of it. But when my brother and I work with individuals, it is about the process of coaching and elevating their money mindset. As you just said, there's a lot of information coming at us. Right now, with technology, it is a financial knowledge overload, information overload. And we need to step back. I think one of the biggest things that we can understand is that, yes, we are being inundated with so much information that it can sometimes get us paralyzed. It can cause financial paralysis. So the biggest tip is understanding that you don't have to do it on your own. Understand where you are, what are you dealing with, what are you feeling, and that is the financial fears, anxiety, all that's involved. Be honest with it. And look and see, well, where's that coming from? Where can I go? Can I seek help, guidance, accountability? What do I need to do to shift from where I am now to where I want to be?
I love it. I love it. And, you mentioned there that you also have a family business. Like you work in this business with your brother and I believe with your daughter as well, who is a jewelry designer.
Yes, she
and
is.
Designed that beautiful family crest that you're wearing right now. So can you tell us a little bit about that in terms of what it's like to work with family, really live this family legacy experience as you are teaching other people about creating their own family legacy experience? And can you also touch on the importance of a family crest, what that means, and why you think that's important for your clients to also have developed for themselves?
And in my history, for my family history, I'm fortunate to be fifth generation entrepreneur, working with family for a very long time, all my life. And it's very important because when we look at the difference between building generational wealth and multi-generational wealth, a key component to families that are able to sustain wealth is family collaboration. That is a key element. And that involves the ability to be able to communicate with one another. Now, any anyone with family will understand that that is not an easy task to be able to communicate with family members.
Yes.
But it's a skill that if you can do it with family, you can do it outside even easier. You can develop that skill. So having a family crest, working with family comes together. Our family crest is a physical representation of that unity, of our belongingness, of the strength of our family, what we stand for, and what we vow to move forward to in the way that we want to elevate our family. So often we need those symbols that help us, that we identify, that connect us. And that's the power of the family crest, to understand who we are and how powerful we are in it.
I love it. I love it. So one last bit of advice I'd like you to give folks, because this is one myth that I oftentimes hear with regards to financing, with regard to finances, that I'd love for you to debunk. And then, because honestly, everybody, I think, gets this wrong, because society tells us the exact opposite of what you suggest. So I was listening to one of your trainings, and you said something that I think most people believe to be true. Like most people, if, for example, tomorrow they were able to get a boatload of money, number one, we know that oftentimes lottery winners end up losing all their money. But if they were, one of the first things that people do is that they seek to pay off their houses immediately. Why is that the wrong move to make? And what should you be focusing on instead if you're looking to build wealth?
Yes, that is very good a question. And yes, we hear that depression era thinking. That's really where it comes from. And granted, it may be a move for some people, it may not for others. But in this general conversation, it is important to understand that the practices that we carry through today, the things that we do, the decisions that we make financially, come from somewhere. So we have to ask ourselves, where is this information coming from? And in that example, that does come from a time where paying off our mortgages was important, because in the Depression era, there was a run on the bank. We didn't have some of the safeguards that we have now. However, if you're looking to build wealth, paying off your mortgage is not a practice for wealth building. That is a practice for security. That is the practice if you were looking to feel safe. That has a lot to do with our feelings. So building wealth requires you to shift and reframe your thinking around money and become very clear, what is it I want? And if wealth building is what you want, then the practices of wealth building is what you must establish.
I love it. And that's exactly what you help people do. Learn the practices, because oftentimes we haven't learned it, even though we've gone through all the schools, all the degrees. This is the one area that we need to know, but oftentimes we don't. So thank you for what you do, Marcella.
Thank you, Dr. Avis, for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us today on MaxBlack.